What's good, y'all? It's your boy Robbie. We're back. Today, doing something a little bit different. I'm not in the park. You could tell I'm sitting here in my office at my house. But I wanted to talk to you guys about Santa Cruz VX decks. So I recently got to help Santa Cruz out with doing like a little Instagram, YouTube testimonial on these VX boards. I got to work on that with Joe Perrin, who is the videographer and editor for Santa Cruz. He's the homie. He lives here in Nashville. Super awesome dude. We had a really good time putting this thing together. But kind of how it all came about was I went through this phase within a short period of time of like a month where I went through about 8 boards and I started losing my mind. It was driving me crazy. I didn't know what was going on. You know, obviously I'm a big dude. I'm 6'4". I'm 210 pounds, up to 215 on some days when, you know, I'm heavy on the sweets and treats. But, you know, I'm a bigger dude, so I know that I'm going to break boards, but I've just started breaking so many of them, and it was just driving me insane. So my homie Will, who works at Blue Flowers Skate Shop, he'd always told me, like, man, you ought to try the Santa Cruz VX boards. I think you'd really like them. They're really strong. They last. And I was just like, nah, man, like, that's a gimmick. Like, I'm going to break them. I'll break any board. And, you know, finally got to the point where I was like, dude, I'm ready to try anything. I've broken so many boards. And so I reached out to Joe and was just like, hey, man, do you think it's worth it for me to try these VX boards? Because they're expensive. You know, it's a $107 board. You know, it's on the higher end, and you know, you don't know if you want to spend that money for a board that is it still going to break. So I reached out to Joe, and he was like, dude, yeah, you should totally try them out. Would you be down to help us like film a testimonial on what you think of the board? I was like, dude, that would be amazing. So I ended up getting one of these Jeff Kendall Pro Model VX boards, and this one, it's a 9-inch egg, and it is 32 inches long with a 13.875 wheelbase. I love an egg shape. I love wide boards. I got a size 12 foot, so I like having that surface area to play with. It's really helpful for me. It makes me feel a lot more comfortable on a board. And man, when I set this thing up, just picking it up, I was like, whoa, these are really light. They're really thin. You can feel that in them. It's a 5-layer board, and then it's got 2 layers of their VX technology. But you can't really like see those layers in the board. You can kind of see them. It's like this thin white layer. I mean, you can kind of see here where the board's worn out. You can see right here. That white, that's that VX technology, which I think it's some kind of like carbon fiber mixture of something. I think they have like their own proprietary technology. Maybe not, maybe it's just carbon fiber. But picking this board up, I was like, whoa, it's super light. And then, especially for being a 9-inch board, like if you ride a big board or you've ever like picked somebody's board up that's a 9-inch board, you're like, whoa, your board's really heavy, especially once you're getting into like the wider trucks and bigger wheels and stuff like that. Like that weight starts adding up. But picking up this board, it's super light. Then setting it up, man, it just felt really good. It feels stiff, but it also has like the right amount of flex to it. So being able to skate this board, man, it felt so good. It felt really strong. It felt really supportive. And obviously you can tell I didn't break it. You know, looking at the tail, I've worn it down pretty much all the way down to the last ply. Like that thing's razor tailed a little bit. It's got one more layer there to work through. But even taking this board apart, it still has life in it. It's still really snappy. It's still really good. The only reason that I decided to change it out was the 13.875 wheelbase. Just a little bit too short for me. You know, like I said, I'm 6'4", so I've got long legs, and just that 13.8 wheelbase just felt really short to me. And especially when doing nollie and switch tricks, like doing those flip tricks, it just felt really awkward and uncomfortable. Felt like my feet were really close together. So I wanted to swap it out and try something different. But I love this shape, man. It's really strong. It really works. And there were some times where I was out, you know, filming some tricks and landing on the tail or in the middle or on the nose, and you could just tell, like, whoa, man, if this was a regular board, I would have snapped that thing. So yeah, man, like this board was so sick, and I had a lot of fun working with Joe Perrin on this. So shout out Joe. But yeah, man, like it's since I was like 14 years old, I haven't swapped out a board that wasn't broken. So this board still has life in it. I still take it with me on sessions just in case, you know, I need a backup board, or, you know, somebody else breaks a board and needs to set one up. I always bring spares with me no matter what. But yeah, man, so after we did that, they actually sent me a couple more boards to try out, which I'm super thankful for. You know, Santa Cruz didn't have to do that. So shout out Pizzle, shout out Joe. Like, I really appreciate you guys, man. It is awesome for just a regular dude like me. But they sent me a couple more. They sent me one more of this, the Jeff Kendall board. And you can see here, their top graphics are sick. Like every single one that I got has this on the top of it. It's not this specific graphic, but they all have a top graphic. So it's really sick. Love this graphic. Love the shape of the egg. Just wish that the wheelbase was like a 14.25 at least. So what I was thinking about doing is getting one of those tools where you can re-drill the wheelbase and drill these truck holes and make it a little bit longer. Because I love this shape. I love a good egg. The egg shape is amazing, especially if you like skating big wide boards. If you like skating a 9-inch board, the egg shape really helps with making it not seem as if it's that wide. You know, the tail and the nose kind of taper in, and it almost feels like an 8.25, 8.38 tail and nose. And it just, when you scoop a tray flip on these things, like it freaking goes. But yeah, so I ended up setting up a Jake Wooten board, which I wanted to film this video before I skated this, but I just got too excited and I wanted to get out there and skate this board. But so go look it up, or maybe I can put a picture up of this graphic. But this Jake Wooten graphic is so sick. Right here in the middle, it's this like robotic hand that's been like removed or cut off, and then you can see it's got all this like shiny holographic, which I'm not like super into shiny graphics usually, but this one is sick. It's tight. But yeah, so I set this board up. This one is the Jake Wooten Pro model. It is a 8.5 inches wide. It is 32 inches long. It may be a little bit longer than 32 inches. I can't remember. I'll look it up. I'll put the specs up. But at least 32 inches long. And then the wheelbase on this one is 14.375, which I loved way more than the 13.8. My sweet spot for wheelbases is somewhere between 14.25 and 14.5. You know, there's, 9-inch boards and up, they tend to have like a 15-inch wheelbase, and I'm not really a fan of that. But this board right here, man, what a good shape. You know, you can kind of see better from the grip tape side. Like it's got a more tapered tail. Still got a rounded nose, which I prefer. I'm not big on like these newer shapes that have been put out that have like the big square shovel noses. I really like a mellow concave and more of a tapered nose and tail. And so this shape is like the perfect shape. The only thing that really took me some time to get used to was, I don't know if the camera does it justice, but the steepness of the tail was very apparent when I stood on it. I was like, whoa, this thing is kicked up pretty high. The nose is good. The nose doesn't feel super steep, but that tail, man, it definitely is a lot steeper than your average tail on a board. I don't know, how Jake designed it or what thoughts went into that, but my guess is because Jake's a very like transition heavy skater, which, dude, freaking rips. Maybe this tail is the key to his amazing front 360s. It's insane how he does them. But, maybe with that steeper tail, it just helps with transition tricks a lot more. But it wasn't so steep that you can't get used to it. So I ended up getting used to the shape after like one session of skating it. And I love this board, man. Went out over this past weekend. The homies are filming for a video. Go check out Cinco Cinco on Instagram. John over there, he's designed some really cool clothes. They got some really cool stuff coming. But they're doing a pop-up shop at Blue Flower Skate Shop in Nashville on May 5th at 7 p.m. So you should come out, check it out, support the homies, support the local brands. Let's make it a big thing. But they're putting together a video for it to premiere at the pop-up shop. And so I've been working on getting some tricks for their video. So I went out this past weekend and I was skating this board. And dude, these VX boards, they hold up. They're the truth. They do what they say that they do. They're stronger, they're lighter, they're snappier. I was even skating this gap, trying to tray flip it, and there was one specific time where I landed very tail heavy, and even the homie filming was like, dude, if that wasn't a VX board, you would have snapped that thing. And I was like, for sure. I was like, I thought I did snap the tail, and after picking up the board and looking at it, it was still completely fine. They even take a good beating. I mean, they still, it's still wood in there as well, but like even jumping down gaps and stuff, like it gets like the little dings, but whatever the glue is that they're using, and dude, they're just really strong plies. Like it holds its shape together. Even I was skating this one ledge and trying to get a front board on the super tall ledge, and it was really rough edges. The concrete was it was almost like an unfinished edge on the concrete, and it just kept digging into my board. And you can see right here, I don't know if you can tell, but I mean, it gashed my board out. And even on that, like standing in the middle of it, that board's not flexing. I don't feel anything wrong with it. It's still working. We went to more spots and kept skating on it. It's still got a lot of good life in this thing. So yeah, this is the 8.5 Jake Wooten. Skates so good. It's a stiff board, but like I was saying, it still has that like good flex in it. It still moves the way that you need it to move. So yeah, loving this shape. It's so good. They also sent me one of these, and this one I am really excited about. Bow! The Nodus board, Shattered Panther. So this one is a 9-inch board. It is 32.15 inches long, and it's got a 14.25 wheelbase. To me, this is like pretty close to my perfect shape. I love a 9-inch board. 9-inch boards are like perfect to me, but it's hard to find the right dimensions with it. I feel like a lot of the times, just like the Jeff Kendall Egg, 9-inch boards either have a short wheelbase or a really long wheelbase. Like I've skated a few 9-inch boards that have a 15-inch wheelbase, and it feels good underfoot. Like for being a tall dude, you're kind of like, whoa, is this what like normal height people feel with their board? Like having a board that is, kind of made for like my height. Like it feels good on foot, but once you start skating it and doing flip tricks and like especially with tray flips, like I felt like it was so much effort to tray flip a 15-inch wheelbase board, and my like ankles and my legs would just get tired way faster. So my sweet spot is like a 14.25 to a 14.5-inch wheelbase, which is kind of hard to find in 9-inch boards. So I'm really excited to skate this one. Again, it's very similar to the Jake board, but it doesn't have as steep of a tail. It's still got that tapered tail, which I really like. It's got a rounded nose. It's not as tapered as the tail is on the nose, which I really like. It's a perfect popsicle shape to me. A little bit more mellow of a concave, which I actually prefer. I'm down to skate anything. I like to try different things, but if I were to pick my own shape and my own size, I would say that I'd probably go for a 9-inch board, probably like a 13.2 length. Yep, I know. I said 13.2 inches long. I meant 32.2 inches long. And then probably like a 14.4 wheelbase. A little bit under 14 and a half, a little bit over 14 and a quarter, but I do love a 14 and a quarter for those wide boards. I'm actually going to do a full review on this shape. I'm going to do another video setting up a full like NHS Christmas complete. So I'm going to set this board up. I've got some Andrew Allen Hollow Indies. They're 159s. Got some Eric Winkowski OJs. I've never skated OJ wheels before, so I'm really excited to try those out. And then I got some Eric Winkowski Bronson G3 bearings. I skate Bronson Raws, so I already love Bronson bearings. I've just never tried the G3s before. And so I figured why not get the Eric Winkowski bearings with the Eric Winkowski wheels? But anyway, this video is about Santa Cruz VX decks. I'm really excited to set this one up. I've become a huge believer in these things. Honestly, don't really want to skate anything else because they just really hold up, man. I love Santa Cruz's graphics. Obviously, they've been in the game for like 50 plus years. They've always had sick graphics. The Screaming Hand is sick. This Shattered Panther, so dope. Like, I know this was a Nodus graphic a long time ago, and even to this day, to me, it holds up. This thing looks dope. And then they also do these top graphics, which are really sick. Even the Jake one had his graphic on the top. Then you saw with that Jeff Kendall board, it had skateboarding is not a crime. And you can kind of see, I don't know if I said it already, but you can see that VX kind of poking through right there. You can kind of see the material. But yeah, man, if you break a lot of boards, or if you want a board that's going to last longer, I recommend getting a Santa Cruz VX board. They also make them in an 825. Mario McCoy's Pro model is an 825. I haven't skated one of those. 825's a little small for me. I will skate them. I went through a phase where I wanted to skate smaller boards to skate ledges and try and do a little bit more tech tricks. But still my sweet spot is I just prefer those bigger boards. I want to skate something that's no smaller than 8.5, but in a perfect world I would skate a 9-inch board. But yeah, they've got pretty much every size range. I don't think their VX boards go below an 825, but I'm not 100% sure. Check your local skate shop. Check out Santa Cruz's website and see if they've got some up there. I know they make Eric Winkowski's board in a VX, which I think it's like a 10-inch shaped board. It doesn't have a nose, or if it does, it has like a little one. I really want to try one of those out. But if you're into those like Pool Shark boards, or that old school shape, I know that they do make Eric Winkowski's board in VX. But yeah, man, they're worth the money. I will 100% say that I'm not afraid to spend $107 on a VX deck, because they work. They last long. The pop stays the whole time. They don't flex out. Man, they're so good. So if you break a lot of boards, if you want to last a long time, check them out. Go to your local skate shop. If they don't have them, ask them to order them in. They're amazing. Shout out Santa Cruz. Shout out Joe Perrin. Shout out Pizzle. I really appreciate you guys. Super thankful. Yeah, so next video, we're going to set this one up, and we'll see what that Christmas Complete is like. Haven't skated a Christmas Complete since I was a teenager, so really looking forward to that. Yeah, man. Go shred it. Get gnarly. Kill it. Peace.